You know that moment when you realize your relationship is less about love and more about lighting? Yeah, that hit me last Tuesday. Hi, I'm Max, graphic designer by day, amateur cook by night, and, as I recently discovered, supporting actor in my girlfriend Karen's award-winning social media production. Karen and I had been dating for about a year. She was beautiful, witty, and had this incredible talent for making everything we did look like the opening montage of a rom-com. Seriously, her Instagram was a museum of perfect couple moments, sunset walks, elaborate charcuterie boards, me holding her hand while she took a picture of our cocktails. But somewhere between the 15th take of me pretending to laugh at a joke and her asking me to hold a ring light for a candid video, I started noticing things. For one, Karen seemed more invested in how we looked than how we were. Dinners weren't about the conversation, they were about the perfect shot of her pasta. Arguments were smoothed over not with apologies, but with filtered couple selfies captioned, "Every love story has its ups and downs, red heart." The breaking point came during a Sunday brunch, when Karen asked the waiter to redo the latte art on her cappuccino because it didn't pop enough for the gram. I mean, who even does that? Isn't this a bit much? I asked, trying to keep my tone casual. She didn't even look up from adjusting the angle of her phone. It's not just for me, Max. It's for us. People love our story. Our story. Right. Because nothing says true love like 500 strangers commenting heart emojis on a photo of Eggs Benedict. That night, I lay awake replaying her words. Was I a boyfriend or just a prop in Karen's digital masterpiece? By Monday morning, I had a plan. If Karen loved attention so much, I was going to give her all she could handle. And that's how Alex Western, wealthy travel blogger, entrepreneur, and completely fictional man, was born. Creating Alex Western was surprisingly easy. A few stock photos of private jets, an embarrassingly expensive watch from a lifestyle website, and a bio that oozed unattainable coolness: traveler, entrepreneur, lover of fine wine and finer company. He was obnoxious, over the top, and exactly the kind of man Karen's algorithmic heart would swoon for. The first message was simple. Hey, Karen. Came across your page, amazing aesthetic. Let me know if you ever need a partner for an Italian getaway, winking face. Her response came faster than I expected. Hi, Alex. Thanks so much. Italian getaways sound like a dream, smiling face with heart eyes. The emoji was what got me. Karen rarely used emojis in our texts unless they were passive-aggressive. But here she was, throwing in a flirty face like it was on sale. Over the next few days, Alex's DMs with Karen became a masterclass in shallow flirtation. You're gorgeous, he'd type. Stop it, you're making me blush, she'd reply. Blush? Karen hadn't blushed around me in months. What do you do for fun? Alex asked one evening. Oh, I love traveling, especially to luxurious places, Karen wrote back. But I've been so busy lately. My boyfriend's sweet, but he's not exactly adventurous. I stared at the screen, the words "my boyfriend's sweet" burning into my brain like a neon sign. Sweet? I was sweet. Karen's interest in Alex became more apparent in real life, too. She started spending more time on her phone, her face lighting up with every new message. Who are you texting? I asked one night, keeping my voice casual. Oh, just the girls, she said with a quick smile. Sure. Because the girls definitely call you babe and ask about your bucket list vacation. Then came the moment of truth. Alex suggested a meeting. I'll be in your city next week, he wrote. We should grab a drink, my treat. Karen's reply was immediate. Sounds amazing. Let me know when, and we're face-blowing a kiss. There it was. The confirmation I didn't want but knew was coming. Karen was all in on her fantasy of Alex Western, and I was done being her backup plan. Now, it was time for the big reveal. The thing about elaborate plans is that they require patience. Luckily for me, Karen was too busy daydreaming about her date with Alex Western to notice that I was in full preparation mode. By the time Friday rolled around, I had everything ready: flowers, a table at her favorite restaurant, and, most importantly, a manila folder stuffed with screenshots of her messages. Karen thought she was meeting Alex that night. Oh, she'd meet someone, all right. The day started like any other, with Karen glued to her phone. I could tell she was nervous. She kept checking her reflection in every mirror she passed, even practicing her candid laugh in the bathroom. "You look nice," I said, watching her curl her hair for the third time. "Thanks," she replied absently, not even bothering to ask if I had plans for the evening. It was almost funny. Almost. At 7 p.m., I left the apartment with a quick, "going to grab dinner with a friend." "Don't wait up." Karen barely looked up. "Okay, have fun." She was too busy slipping on her heels and spritzing on perfume to care. The restaurant was one of those dimly lit, overpriced places where the breadbasket alone costs more than my weekly grocery bill. I arrived early and handed the hostess the bouquet of roses. "If a woman named Karen asks for Alex Western," I said, "please send her to this table." The hostess raised an eyebrow but didn't ask questions. At 7:30 p.m. on the dot, Karen walked in. She was dressed to kill, her smile as bright as the chandeliers above her. I watched as she approached the hostess and said something I couldn't hear. The hostess nodded and gestured toward my table. Karen's smile faltered the second she saw me. "Surprise," I said, standing up with the roses in hand. Her eyes darted around the restaurant, as if Alex might be hiding behind a waiter. What are you doing here?" "Oh, just enjoying a quiet dinner with my girlfriend," I said, placing the roses on the table. Or should I say Alex's girlfriend? Karen froze, her face a perfect mix of panic and confusion. "What are you talking about?" she said, forcing a laugh. I pulled out the manila folder and placed it in front of her. "You might want to take a look at these," I said. Spoiler alert, they're not work emails. Her hand trembled as she opened the folder and flipped through the screenshots of her messages with Alex. Her face turned pale, then red, then something close to green. "Max, I can explain," she stammered. "Please do," I said, leaning back in my chair. "I'd love to hear this one." Karen launched into a flurry of excuses. "It was just a joke. I was testing you. It didn't mean anything." I let her ramble, nodding occasionally, until she finally ran out of steam. "Are you done?" I asked calmly. She nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "Max, I'm sorry. I messed up. Please, can we just go home and talk about this?" I stood up, tossing some cash on the table for the roses and the untouched appetizers. "Home?" I repeated. "Karen, you're already where you belong, center stage in your little drama." And with that, I walked out, leaving her alone with the roses, the folder, and her shattered image of control. Walking out of that restaurant, I felt like I'd just dropped the final act of a poorly written play. Karen wanted a story she could control, a fantasy of high-class romance with Alex Western. What she got was me flipping the script. As I stepped into the cool evening air, a strange calm washed over me. It wasn't victory, it was closure. The fallout started almost immediately. My phone buzzed with Karen's texts as I walked home. "Max, please, let me explain. You misunderstood everything. We can fix this. Just call me." I didn't reply. By the time I reached my apartment, I'd blocked her number. The next day, our mutual friends started calling. Apparently, Karen had decided to spin the situation her way, claiming I'd overreacted to a harmless prank. "Max, what's going on?" my friend David asked during lunch. "Karen saying some crazy stuff about you storming out of her networking dinner." I laughed, shaking my head. "Networking dinner? Is that what she's calling it?" David frowned. "Wait, what happened?" I pulled out my phone, scrolling to the screenshots I'd saved. Let's just say Karen was networking with someone named Alex Western. Too bad he doesn't exist. David's jaw dropped as he read the messages. "No way." "Oh, yes way," I said, smirking. Word spread quickly, and Karen's carefully curated image began to crack. Her followers started questioning the authenticity of her posts, and a few even unfollowed her. Karen, true to form, tried to save face with a tearful Instagram story. Sometimes people don't understand your intentions, and that's okay. I'm just focusing on my journey now. Hashtag self-care, hashtag healing. I nearly choked on my coffee when I saw it. Self-care? Healing? From what? Being caught red-handed. Meanwhile, my life was surprisingly peaceful. I deleted the photos of us on my phone, cleared her out of my social media, and finally had time to focus on things that actually mattered, like catching up with friends and finishing that graphic novel I had been working on forever. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was competing with a fictional version of myself for Karen's attention. About a week later, I got one last message from her, sent through a mutual friend's account. I know I hurt you, Max. I'm really sorry. I wish things could have been different. I didn't reply. Karen wanted to be the star of a perfect love story, but the truth was, she didn't know how to share the stage. And me? I wasn't interested in playing a role anymore. Weeks passed, and life began to feel refreshingly normal. No staged photos, no constant pressure to curate our brand, and, best of all, no Karen. It was like stepping out of a fog and finally breathing fresh air. That didn't mean she was done trying, of course. Karen wasn't the type to quietly bow out. Her final attempt came in the form of an Instagram post. It was a picture of her sitting on a beach at sunset, looking wistfully into the distance. The caption read, "Sometimes, people don't see the love you tried to give them. But life moves on, and so do I. Hashtag grateful, hashtag new beginnings." The comments section was exactly what you'd expect. "You're so strong, Karen. He didn't deserve you. Keep shining, Queen." I rolled my eyes so hard I almost sprained something. Part of me considered responding, maybe setting the record straight, but what was the point? Karen could spin her narrative however she wanted. I didn't need to justify myself to her followers, or anyone else, for that matter. The truth was, I'd won. Not in some petty, vindictive way, but in the only way that really mattered. I was free. One evening, while grabbing drinks with friends, the topic of Karen came up. "Do you ever miss her?" David asked, leaning back in his chair. I thought about it for a moment, then shook my head. Not really. I think I missed the idea of her more than anything. The version I thought I was dating, not the one who turned everything into a performance. "Fair," David said, raising his glass. "Here's to real connections, and no more Instagram queens." "To that," I said, clinking my glass against his. Months later, while scrolling through my phone, I came across a candid photo someone had snapped of me laughing at one of David's terrible jokes. There were no filters, no perfect lighting, just me, genuinely happy. For a brief moment, I considered posting it. But then I smiled and closed the app. Because the best moments in life don't need an audience. Subscribe to never miss a new story and discover even more captivating tales.